and that's before we get into the issue with the players. Now, Jules, I want to get you in on this too, because how seriously should we be taking what the players are saying? I'm put Danny Rose in his own category because that dude, whatever. But all these other players who don't want to come back, I want to get you guys both to weigh in.
Well, for me, the most important thing is that they still haven't been asked. Really, they haven't had that proper discussion with the clubs, or at least the ones that I talk to, on what you want to do. A lot of them still have a lot of questions that they want answered, like the medical protocol, of course. What will happen on a match day? What's the process? I mean, I guess clubs don't really know, so they can't really refer to the players and say, okay, this is what we've been told by the Premier League. This is what will happen. They've got no idea. So if the clubs don't have any idea, the players are still very much in the dark about what's going to happen if games come back, and what the protocol is, what the process is to go back playing. And I think a lot of them are freaking out because they're thinking, hang on a minute, it's still not clear. It's not much clearer than last week or the week before what we will do. And if I go back to full training, contact training, a lot of them read things, especially on social media. They say like, well, if we go back training, we can't tackle anymore. I mean, come on. And I know not everything that's been written is true, but the no tackle thing is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. If you can't tackle, just don't play football. What's next? We can play with the hands and then we move it to basketball.
Okay, but the no tackle thing isn't real when the games come back, is it, Augie? I mean, if there's a continuum with Danny Rose at one end and Mark Noble at the other, where do you think the majority of the players are? And will they have a voice? Does it really matter what they think?
Some people think that tackling's been eradicated from the game anyway. So, Michel Platini, was it one of his ideas? No, listen, from what I'm being told, and maybe I'm speaking to the wrong clubs, the kind of the northern clubs who are maybe a little bit more, how can we say?
Tough, that's what you want to say.
The majority of people I speak to want to play. A couple of clubs I spoke to said that they have no dissenting voices in the dressing room. Now, it seems to me that a lot of the players who don't want to play come from the clubs in the bottom end of the table, where they may be, being told that relegation will be catastrophic if you play again, that you might not get your bonuses next year because you're not relegated. Fear is ruling all this. If the government and the Premier League say it's safe, if the Bundesliga can get it on to say it's safe, the players just get on with it. But, people in everyday walk of life are getting back to work, and it's not safe. It cannot ever be 100% safe or risk-free.
If you don't feel safe, it's very simple. If you don't feel safe, we put you on a sabbatical. You don't earn your wages for the next 2 months or until you come back to start playing, right? You go on unpaid leave. Danny Rose can certainly afford, I know he's bitched and moaned for a long time, he doesn't make enough money, but you know what? You go away, you go on unpaid leave. We're not going to force you to come back. You go away, we won't pay you for 2 months. Most of these teams are, mid-table people. If you want to deal with a fallout for the teams that do have something to play for, not playing, hey, it's down to you. But you signed a contract, you have jobs. I think a lot of this comes from the fact, and we were always told not to get political, but I think the German government inspires a lot more trust from people, especially foreign people, and nearly half the Premier League are foreigners, than the British government does. I think it's as simple as that. And they have less cases, and they have a different health service and whatever. So I think it's it's an easy solution.
But even if the players want to play, and I'm sure they all want to, or most of them want to, it's still fair for them to get the answers of the questions that they have, right? That doesn't mean they won't play once they get all the answers. A lot of them right now are saying, I would rather know what will happen when matches resume and what we're going to do on the match day, because it would be very different to before. That doesn't mean they don't want to come back playing. It's just that they would like some of the answers to be answered and maybe some of their voices to be heard.
Well, they were shown the protocol, right?
That will happen. They will be given, like the Bundesliga's, comprehensive protocol. That was given out very quickly. But I'm sure the Premier League players, once this is available, will be given it. And I'd be amazed if more than 10 actually read it. They'll all be wanting to see it, but how many are going to go home and read it detailed? They're not. It's just noise. It's just footballers just what next? Footballers asking what route the bus is going to take to a ground. The footballers don't get involved in that level of thing. A lot of this, I think, is footballers that are looking at their situation in the league, looking at their clubs and thinking, don't really fancy this. Or players that are back home with their families in South America, in Europe, enjoying
foreigners. Here we go.
No, of course.
I'm kidding.
Who one that dives as well, right?
no reason to come back right now because the team have got nothing to play for.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.